How do you think each team, the Warriors and the Trailblazers, would have panned out if Steph and Dame were switched? Right? If Steph was with the Trailblazers his entire career and Dame was with the Warriors his entire career, would the Warriors have made 5 straight finals? Would Steph have won any titles?
Yeah.
Would Steph be a 2-time MVP? Would Dame have made the All-Star game earlier? Like, there's a lot of questions that can be built off.
This helps Dame's case for 75, like top 75 out of the way. This question right here.
It could, but it couldn't at the same time, because that means if we would flip them and we already, like, let's say we flipped them and we already know what Steph has, that means I'll put pressure on Dame to, like, win championships. Yeah. Like, anything less than that to me would be a failure.
Yeah, no, I think Steph's that first championship they won in 2015. Clay, Draymond was a start. That was the first year he was a full-time starter. Draymond. Clay was, I think, his third year. So, I mean, everything revolved around what Steph did, and he made those guys better. He made them better. I think if that had been Dame, and again, Dame, I always hear about Dame's leadership ability in Portland. The players love him, his teammates love him, and they consider him a leader. The guys who cover him say he's a leader. But to me, I need to see Dame give more of an effort on defense before I can give him the kind of credit I give Steph, because Steph might be Dame is a better athlete than Steph is. But I think Steph's a better defender than Dame is. And to me, that matters. Steph is doing something on defense, whether he's, forcing deflections or stealing balls or whatever. I would trust Steph to guard somebody before I would trust Dame to guard somebody. And that matters to me too. So I don't know. I think if Dame was with the Warriors all this time, I think they would have won. They would have been winners. Would they have 5 straight finals? If KD came along, they'd have 3.
That's a fact. That's a factor. I know that definitely is a factor. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard, man. It's hard. But the bottom line, though, I think Steph's better than Dame. So therefore, I think if the roles were reversed, I think Portland would have a harder time, even with Steph, than the Warriors with Dame, because I think Dame would have been able to sort of mold himself to play with these guys. I think they would still win. I think Portland would be better than they have been if it were Steph.
I think, me personally, Dame's will to win is something. It's put it like this. I've seen Dame take Portland in any type of situation to the playoffs and have, some type of success. On the other hand, when it comes to Stephen Curry, things got to be really, really great. Everything for Stephen Curry to hit his full ceiling. So one could argue that if you put Dame on a great team with great players where the situation is just beautiful, that he probably would have the same success as a Stephen Curry.
It may be similar. Yeah, I agree it would be similar. I just, again, the difference to me was that I think Portland's biggest issue over the years has been defense. They can score, but who are they going to stop? And, I like Dame. I love CJ. I think CJ is one of the most underrated players in this league, man. I love watching him go to work on offense, his footwork, his handle, just what he does to defenders. But neither one of them is going to guard anybody, And to me, that's that team's Achilles heel, is that they got 2 guards that are great offensive players, but don't give you anything on the other end.
Yeah. You got, into Steph's defense, I guess no pun intended, he has Clay and Draymond.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So he's in a great situation.
Yeah, but see, that conversation is always interesting. Like, it's a mix of he's in a great situation and it kind of fell in his lap, but at the same time, he still would probably win at least one MVP or maybe at least one chip.
Yeah, I mean, he helped build the Warriors dynasty, of course, but I'm just saying, it's just kind of like Damian Lillard can play in any situation. The past couple of years, we've seen Stephen Curry in these similar situations that Dame has been in his entire career, and it hasn't been pretty. So I gotta kind of give Dame some credit.
2 years ago, Steph played 4 games.
Yeah, so, of course. Yeah,
he wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, last year, yeah,
it was a truer test last year. You're right. Yeah. They had a lot of issues last year. I mean, they obviously know Clay. Wiseman was gone for half the season, and so it was Draymond and Steph basically. And Kelly Oubre is a fun guy to watch. He does some good stuff, but he was not a good fit for this team. it didn't work. It did not work. And so Steph was, I thought Steph had an MVP caliber year, which, he's one of the 3 finalists. I get that. But that team wasn't going to go very far with that roster. I mean, they were dependent on too many guys who just like guys like Bazemore and those guys. I mean, Bazemore's an NBA player, but I mean, if you got to rely on Kent Bazemore to get you somewhere, you're probably not going to go very far.
Yeah, same thing with Damian Lillard, though. Yeah, but same thing with Dame, though. Dame, some of these Blazers rosters, I'm looking like, look,
everybody needs help. Everybody,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody needs help,
Yeah.
and so that's the, it is what it is.
I just gotta give Dame some. I just gotta give Dame some love because, like, I think if you like you said, you asked him the question, Monty, the question. I think if you swap situations, I think Dame is a champion. I really do.
I don't know if he's 3-time champion, but I think he's right there. Yeah.
Stephen Curry's not a 3-time champion if Kevin Durant doesn't come along. If we being honest, if we being honest,
go back to the 73-win team and you say, well, if Draymond didn't get suspended, they win that.
See, that's the thing about the hypotheticals and the if games just go.
I'll feel a lot more comfortable in not saying that if we didn't see 2019. That was the perfect time for Stephen Curry to quiet all the noise.
But they also didn't have Clay, though.
Clay got they were still down. They were still down before that, though. Like they were still down. They were still losing the series. So you get what I'm saying? It's just like the perfect situation would have been like 2019, where Stephen Curry got quiet
last season.
No, I mean,
the year when he got only 4 games.
No, I'm talking about with the Toronto Raptors, 2018 against the Toronto Raptors. That finals.
19 finals. I got you.
2019 finals. Okay. That was a time where Stephen Curry could have quiet a lot of noise. A lot of noise could have been quiet, and that's it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's time to see now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing without your second and third best players, Clay and KD. That would have been if they had been won that in that. If they had been able to win that series without KD and Clay, I think nobody say damn thing about Steph at that point. It's like, dude, you got that firepower on the bench over there in the training room, and you won anyway. Didn't happen though.
But though, that's the thing, and I hate to say this. This is probably the only time, I'm gonna give you flowers, and you're right about the media darling thing. It's because how quickly we might say, all right, Steph didn't have his other best players, but if that were LeBron. If that were like KD lost to the NBA champions, and people weren't saying, people were mentioning that they didn't have Harden and Kyrie, but like Steph is like, oh yeah, they definitely shouldn't be winning at all. People were still saying that the Nets could have won, even with Kevin Durant. Nobody's saying that when it's just Steph. Like even before the game, no one is picking them. Like it would the Nets. It's like, all right, yeah. I mean, hey, they got Kevin Durant, so they could. Even with LeBron, like even. With some of those Cavs teams, you might not have picked the Cavs to win, but you still in the back of your mind was like, all right, hey, they still got LeBron, so
which is why I said, which is why I said what I said about like people can talk about them not having Kevin Durant and Kevin Durant going down. People can talk about Klay Thompson going down, but they were still losing the series with a healthy Klay Thompson and a healthy Stephen Curry. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, which one is it? So
yeah, I don't feel bad for a player like that. Obviously, you don't want injuries to happen to anyone, but like, hey man, we've seen the other people that you might be compared to, do a lot more with a lot less. Because when some of those finals with LeBron, it's like, yo, oh my goodness, like, man, I'm praying for you.
Go ahead, JR, do your thing.
Yeah. And that's JR. That's,
Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah, just like, man.
Matthew Dellavedova.
Woo! And still keeping it competitive,
Yeah.